Hey everybody, it's TonySweet from Truth Be Told. Today we're going to present to you one of our favorite interviews we did at Contact in the Desert this year. Captain Ron and myself had a great time. We hope you have a great time watching this interview with Dr. Stephen Greer of the Disclosure Project. Enjoy.
We're back here at Contact in the Desert. This is, of course, Truth Be Told with Captain Ron and TonySweet. We are truly, truly honored to have the great Dr. Stephen Greer with us. Doc, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you got going on, brother?
Well, we have a new film and documentary, Unacknowledged, and it really unveils the secret programs that are illegal. And the whole purpose of it is this is a film that you can show any skeptic and anyone who knows nothing about this issue, and it will bring them from what the evidence is, to how the secrecy's been maintained for 70 years, to why it's been maintained in an hour and 40 minutes. And then there's a book that's just come out at the same time, same title, Unacknowledged. And the title comes from, and it's in Barnes & Noble and Amazon, everywhere. So the title comes from the classification of super secret projects that, and this is what's used at the Pentagon and CIA, is unacknowledged special access projects. So the unacknowledged projects are ones that only the people who are in them know anything about them. And if the president isn't read into it, he's not going to know. If the Senate Intelligence Committee chairman isn't read into it, he isn't going to know. Now, this is what I discovered back in 1993 when I was briefing the director of the CIA, and he genuinely was being blocked access to these projects. And I began to realize that the management of the secrecy on UFOs and the extraterrestrial issue is something that is transnational, not just U.S., but is being done illegally. And the reason for it is that there's not a concern that the ETs are a problem. The problem is that if people acknowledge that this is legitimate, it's going to completely change the foundations of our civilization. Energy. We'll have free energy, anti-gravity. Medicine will be transformed because the same physics behind going beyond the speed of light from one star system to another can be put into electromagnetic systems that can heal almost any disease state. And actually, this is not an urban myth. So you have trillion-dollar industries in pharmaceuticals, $100 trillion asset bases or more, $600 trillion asset bases in coal and oil and gas. Those are the interests, even though they're destroying the planet, that they're protecting. And
But
then
as humans, aren't we allowed to all know this? Don't you think that
Yeah.
that's the whole thing?
Is why I left my medical career as an emergency doctor to do this, because what I realized is that if the people would understand this subject in a way that's meaningful to them. So, Joe Sixpack or the guy with the F-150 and the gun rack, if he knew that he's spending $100 to fill up his truck, or 50 or whatever it is now, when he could be running on a 0-point energy, free energy electric motor with no pollution, but that would also have no cost.
Right.
And
Right.
so people are we're the whole civilization is running on this treadmill to enrich a few oligarchs, and I call them petro-fascists and Nazis, but more importantly, the gangbangsters, the banking industry, and the gangbangsters are really at the core of it, because the whole banking system is based on the petrodollar. Now, the petrodollar should have gone the way of all flesh before it was even conceived of at Bretton Woods after World War II. We didn't need, we haven't needed fossil fuels since any of us have been alive.
Oh my God. I think
So that's the core. And the reason people don't understand the secrecy is that most people would say, and I know this is what the CIA director asked me, he says, why wouldn't they tell me and the president? The president at the time was Bill Clinton. And I said, because they think you would be sympathetic to disclosing this information, and that's the end of the macroeconomic order we currently have, and there would be true liberation of the planet, where every home, village, car, person would be completely independent of energy, with no pollution. We would be interconnected like we are now through communication systems, but we wouldn't be dependent on an earth-destroying fossil fuel or uranium nuclear power system, and we wouldn't need surface roads. Think about
Right.
it. How much time is spent by people in traffic
Yep.
when we mastered in October of 1954 gravity control? So we haven't needed roads since 1954.
It's been that long. See, I don't think
Yes.
people think it's been anywhere close to that.
No, it has been, and that's what we bring out in this film and in the book, and that the science and technology that is in the core of these covert programs. Their big concern is that if they let that genie out of the bottle, they can't put it back in, and it means that the centralized fascist, frankly, control of the economy that keeps everyone in relative poverty, not only in the United States but around the world, that is going to change. And it literally is a revolutionary movement that we have with the Disclosure Project, because it would truly liberate the people of the earth. And in a generation, literally in one generation, you would have no poverty and no pollution, a pristine planet. And that serves as the foundation of justice to have a peaceful planet. And when we get a peaceful planet, guess what? These extraterrestrial civilizations will welcome us. Right now, they don't want us out there.
Right. Makes sense? They don't.
Who would? I mean,
Yeah,
if you look at what's going on this planet in the last 70 years, and we're destroying the biosphere, and we're destroying. There's so many wars and things going on. There's no way that these civilizations want to have open contact. Now, they are willing to have limited contact, and that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow night. No. But my group, the CE5 Initiative, we're doing open contact.
Really?
And we have trained tens of thousands of people using advanced concepts in physics, in non-locality of consciousness, remote viewing to make contact. And that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow night here.
Hey, is this film?
Yeah.
Does this film follow up on Sirius? Is this basically a continuation, or is this a whole new exposure?
Well, it's a deeper look at one part that was touched on Sirius.
Okay.
Because what we wanted to do with this one is put in enough top secret military witness testimony, government documents. Every single person in the film and every document are legitimate documents and whistleblowers from the government or from the corporate aerospace industry, or people who worked in government who know about these secrets. So it's not it's designed to have the credibility that a skeptic would want to see. Because what we always run into is, well, if any of this were true, why don't we know about it?
Yeah,
well,
right.
One of the answers to this is we have an Air Force intelligence officer in the film who flat out says, yeah, I used to carry bags of cash to people in the media to shut them up or to get their cooperation.
So
And he says it on the record. He also admits that the intelligence community were doing faking abductions.
Really?
So that it would scare people, so people would hate ETs, so we could have the next war. He also acknowledges the false flag scenario that we cover in the movie, that Werner von Braun, who invented the rocket for Adolf Hitler, warned on his deathbed when he said they're going to hoax a threat from outer space so that they can consolidate power globally around a military sort of junta. And the whole world, like the movie Independence Day, will unite itself around a interplanetary conflict. So 90% of the information on this subject in the UFO subculture is disinformation supporting the agenda for war.
Wow.
And that's what this film exposes.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
It's #1 on iTunes, and it's growing. And actually Tuesday, the 23rd of May, it becomes available for rental. So if people don't want to buy it, they can just rent it for
We had the director on here 2 minutes ago.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay came by. Folks,
You heard it from Dr. Stephen Greer. Thank God he's out there for us fighting the fight, because he's changed his life. You quit your job as a doctor to do this. So we should all be very thankful. We're truly indebted as mankind to him for exposing this for us. Go out and check it out. It starts Tuesday. It's available for rental on
You can
iTunes.
get it now if you want to buy it.
Buy it now or download it Tuesday for rental.
It's going to be everywhere.
Thanks for coming on, Stephen. We really appreciate it. We really do. We're here at Contact in the Desert for TonySweet. I'm Captain Ron, and this is Truth Be Told. Thank you.